and welcome to Girl, I Got Questions TV.
The talk show that is for the woman who's out there who's just trying to pull it together and figure it out. Girl, we are right there with you. I am Yasmin Williams-Woods. I help women conquer life and everything it throws at them by leveraging the courageous love of Jesus.
And I am Shana Berkeley, your neighborhood stylist, your stylist next door, here to teach you how to rock the trends in your real world. And we're going to get right into our first segment. But before we do that, I want to make sure everybody is following us on Instagram at Girl I Got Questions TV. And be sure that you are commenting and are asking, letting us know your thoughts on all the things that we're talking about this episode.
Yes, please do. And click the subscribe button.
Yeah, shout out to our subscribers. We're going to put your information in the comments. And we also shout you out on Instagram. So hello to you all. Hello to our Instagram followers. And hello, friends.
Hey, girl.
All right, let's do it. What's our question for the day?
All right, so this segment for our new folks is called Mama Ain't Raised No Fool. And it's where we ask a question. This week, our question is, how do you feel about, or how do you navigate daddy-daughter relationships or the lack thereof?
Yeah. Well, first, I know I just had a full week. I just need a deep breath. Let's just take a group deep breath. Woosah.
Yes.
We got a heavy question today. So, this is interesting for me because as I get older and I reflect, me and my dad don't really have a relationship with one another. But it's not like I hate him and he beat my, it's not dramatic. It's just like when I grew up, I used to always say like we just don't get along or we don't see eye to eye. Now that I'm an adult, I can verbalize that we don't have the same love language. And so how we give and receive love was different, and how he tried to show me love wasn't how I received it, and I thought it was like corny. Like I don't know if he took the test, but from my experience, his love language is gifts, and mine is physical touch and quality time. I used to be like, bruh, all he want to do is just go shopping and go with other people and see. And my dad, like, if you know me, you think I'm outgoing. My dad was a DJ on the radio. So everywhere we went, it was like, DJ Greg, what's up, man? I heard you play my song. I used to be like, bruh, like, it's too much. And so even when he lived in Atlanta, where I'm from, I always just felt like disconnected, like it was just something to do. I'm not understanding that that's how he tried to show love, and that he was dealing with his own issues. And so when I went, then he moved to Florida, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try. I just wasn't. And I won't say he didn't try, but he didn't try hard.
Right.
He tried like your great cousin that you saw at a family reunion tried versus like somebody who's birthed you. Well, your parent. And so when I went to college and I started going to therapy and talking through that, and I used to have this thing of like not being like you know how like when you have daddy issues, you become like promiscuous, and I was like the anti. I was like, no. Yeah, I didn't want to be that stereotype, and my therapist made me realize like there are two different extremes to that stereotype. You can be the person who always is looking for love in the wrong places, or you can be the person who is just like so closed off and like I love myself and that's enough, right?
Yeah,
and so I was there, and so I can remember this day calling him when I was like at work. Well, I had called him before and he answered. I was like, "Oh, good," because my therapist told me to call him. I was like, "Oh, glad you answered." Yeah. And then he called me back. I was like, "Ah." So I answered, and we sat and we had a very vulnerable conversation about him not knowing how to be a dad and not having a dad, and I don't even know if he knew who his dad was for a really long time. And so him doing the best that he could. And I also had a sister, she had a different mom, but she passed away from a brain tumor. And like, I realized he was still there. She would be 23. She died when she was 2 or 3. She would be like 23 this year. And like, he's still kind of stuck in that moment when she died. I mean, he's grown, gotten older, but I don't think he ever fully moved through that. Or can you? I don't know. I don't have kids. And so it just basically showed me to have more grace to who he is, but I'm still not sure how to navigate having a relationship outside of like birthdays or Christmas or, hey, just checking on y'all. Like, he doesn't know much about me at all. And this is a funny story, and then I'll let you go. So I went to Florida to visit him. Well, I really went for a church conference, but I also visited him while I was there. And he kept asking me, like, he's not a believer. And so he was like, are you dating somebody? And I was like, no. And he's like, I mean, I'm sure you got boys knocking down your door. And I'm like, no. I'm just honest. Like, I'm just chilling. And so he said, if there's anything you can't tell your mama, you can tell me. And I was like, he thinks I'm a lesbian. He thinks I'm gay. He thinks I'm gay. So I don't actually know if he think I'm gay, but he definitely gave me the I think you're gay conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, but he doesn't understand because he lived a very active and sexual life and was a public figure and kind of lived that up as a man as well. He doesn't understand the idea of like wanting to be pleasing to God with sex, wanting to deny yourself personal pleasures. And so me not engaging in relationships or me not jumping out of guy or me not being married, he was just like, you're in your late 20s.
Gay.
You must be gay.
Yeah.
And so my mom was dying laughing, but I'm not gay. But I'm also, we just live very different lives. So I don't know how to navigate that very well. What do you think?
Well,
I gave y'all my whole life.
Yes, I love how you said though, like you went to therapy
Yeah.
and counseling. So I think like that's honestly how you navigate. You know, God created these resources. For me, I'll tell you a little bit of my story, and I'm not prepared to answer this either. But
thanks for the question. We don't know the answer.
yes, but I like it being like raw, organic. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So I always say that I was raised by my stepdad, who passed away when I was in 6th grade. But I always had, throughout my childhood, I always had a relationship with my father's side of the family. So we were at family reunions, my cousins, like I have a lot of childhood memories with them. My aunts were like more supportive and present than even on my mother's side because her siblings lived in other states. So like I never had any ill feelings toward my father because it's still like he was my dad. He was at all the family reunions I was at, all the birthday parties, etc. Not necessarily my birthday parties, but when I would go, he was always present and there in that way when he wasn't in prison or in some rehabilitation facility. My father struggled with alcoholism and drug addiction. So it was never, as when I became an adult, I never called him consistently, never on birthdays either. Like I lived my life, he lived his life. I just always knew he was there if ever I needed, which I just knew I was never gonna need it. So
question mark,
yeah. But in 2016, my dad passed away, and my aunt called and she said, she's like, your dad is in the hospital. They're only giving him a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days to live. And I live about 4 hours away from where I was born in Alabama. And I could have easily gone, but I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm very optimistic. Everything is going to work out. He's going to be all right. And I didn't go. And so the next day, my aunt called to say that he had passed. And I reacted in a way that I didn't imagine that I would. I cried. I was a hot mess because I want my dad to know, and in that moment, I wanted my dad to know that, like, I love you, I forgive you. I've never had any ill feelings toward you. Like, him not being present just was my normal. I didn't know anything else, so there wasn't any ill feelings at all. I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. And I'll end with this. Recently, last year, my cousin on my dad's side got married, and I actually wore this dress differently, but we'll talk about it in a minute. And sitting there, being with all my aunts, cousins, uncle, like everybody was just, I had a moment at the table where I wept because it was the first time that I was with that side of my family and my dad wasn't there. I couldn't walk over and like catch up with him or sit on his lap and give him a hug. I wouldn't have that one picture that I got with my dad at that place. So I don't know how you navigate it either besides going to counseling, seeking help, praying. But whatever it is, like, do navigate it. Do figure it out. Do let your dad know how you feel, because I don't want you to end up feeling how I feel, like, man, I just should have gone and let him know that, like, I love him, not forgive him.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess you have to figure out how you feel. You can spend so long not feeling away or not, because even now I feel forgiveness, which is not an emotion I had before, and one that I know that my other siblings probably don't have. I have siblings that have the same dad and I have a sibling that has a different dad, for either of them. Which I do. I'm like, we had a talk. I understand that you can't give what you don't have, and get that. But I'm like, somebody asked me, like, if he died, how would I feel? Like, I would just feel like somebody died. I would go to his funeral, you know what I'm saying? I would go, and then when you're at the funeral and people are saying things they remember about him, I think what would hurt me more is, like, I don't have that to say. Like, girl, you want to say something? No, I don't, actually. Yeah. So, I don't know. I like what you said, and I think I'm going to take that to heart. And I think hopefully if you have a good relationship with your dad, if you don't, if you're indifferent, you can try to navigate that is to, like, figure out how you feel and do something proactive. Either closing that door for good while they're alive and saying what they need to say and blessing it and moving it forward, or really trying to repair that relationship, because one day we're all gonna die. And even if I die before him, right, the same will go. Like, what I have said, what I wanted to say, and all those things. So that was good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right, girl. Keep navigating those daddy relationships.
Yeah, and keep asking the question, because literally that's all we here for. This is all we can do in our lives is ask the questions and then make room for the answers to manifest. So, yeah. Our next segment today is I Rise. It is a fan favorite, and it's about a woman who has asked and answered the hard questions, so we wouldn't have to. Our woman today, Yasmin.
Our woman today is Mya Angelou, who we named this segment after. It's called I Rise, and it's taken us 6 episodes to finally honor and acknowledge the woman who got us here, literally.
We sorry, Mya.
Yeah,
we
love you.
Yes.
So, Mya Angelou, she was a civil rights activist. She passed away in 2014, but here are some of her, like, concrete things that she accomplished. She wrote 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, which are my favorite.
Yes.
Hence, I Rise, Phenomenal Woman, all the things. I think, like, those were the introduction to, like, me and theater and just, you know.
Womanhood and blackness. Come on, Mya.
Yes. She also has plays, movies, television. She received so many awards in her lifetime. But here's the thing I didn't know. She had 50 honorary degrees. 50 honorary degrees.
Sis, she probably like, I don't want these.
Right.
And she had a son, right? I think she had 1 child as well. Yeah. So I know that he's, hopefully he's somewhere living out his legacy. So shout out to him as well. Yeah. But Mya, girl, thank you. First of all, 7 autobiographies. I don't know if I had much to say about 1 book about my life, and she got 7. So her life is very interesting. But we want to thank Mya for all she's done. So maybe we can get 2 snaps and a slay for Miss Mya.
Yes, for sure. She deserves it.
Let's do it. Ready? Here we go. 2 snaps and a slay for Miss Mya. Thank you, girl, for all you've done for us.
This segment is called Living Large and Taking Charge. Big boy!
Big boy! Yeah!
And this is one of Shana's favorite episodes because she is a movie guru. Yes. So, what are you...
Let's talk about today. So this week I'm doing something different. So last time we talked about the photograph. Today I'm talking about 2 TV shows that are black cast based. So if not all the cast, most of the cast are black cast. And I thought it was interesting because we always wait until something is canceled. Y'all remember when The Game was canceled and then we signed a petition and it came back to BET? Yeah. Before it gets that deep, I want us to talk about it, and I want to talk about why you should watch it and then my Kilmonger rating, okay? Okay. So the first one is called Cherish the Day. I am obsessed. I know Marcia, who watches our show, is obsessed with it. People who follow me on Instagram, we all obsessed. The show is about a woman named Gently James, and she comes from a stereotypical background. Her father died, her mother left, and so her father's best friend is raising her. It's a guy named Ben, and he's phenomenal, right? But they are still low income. She is well-traveled and really has settled herself in the world and is a free spirit. So although she comes from that stereotypical background, who she is the antithesis of that. And then you meet her boyfriend, or the guy that she likes, or whatever, or who likes her. You know how that goes. His name is Evan, and Evan is an engineer. He comes from an extremely bougie black family, like talented 10, can't sit with us, and like old school, no shade, but like old school AKAs. My best friend's an AKA, so it's no shade. But you know how they like super like debutante. Yes. You're like, all right, girl. And so he, because of that, like child rearing, is very particular and like afraid and risk adverse and kind of does everything by the book. He drives a Tesla, child, so he got money, right? And they meet, and it's about them, again, no struggle love, but the tensions of love, which is what I was talking about that I really enjoy about different backgrounds, different upbringings, outcomes. And I love it because it shows Black people as not a monolithic experience.
Yes.
That we are diverse in our experience and the way that we approach the world and the things that we love, the music that we love, the people that we see as valuable, and the community that we want to uplift as a group. So that show is awesome. I'm going to show you the next show and then I'll rate it. The second show is called For Life. Now, For Life was based on, and I can't remember his name, but y'all look it up. It was based on a guy who was wrongly convicted as a drug lord, and he was sentenced to life in prison. Life, sis. Life. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay, and so he figured out a loophole to practice law, and so he was representing other inmates in the jail while he was trying to figure out and work on things in his case. So it gave him access to like the library and police officers and trying to like navigate the system to prove his innocence. In real life, the guy did prove his innocence. He got off, and then he got all the people who put him in jail convicted because it was a conspiracy against him. Because they were hiding up some wrongdoings, and he kind of got caught in their web of needing him to be the fall guy. But on the show, you know, they also show a little bit of that conspiracy, but they really go in detail about each case for the other inmates. It's more of a quote-unquote stereotypical Black experience with a Black man in jail, but it also talks about how incarceration affects the entire family. So how it affects his friends, his kids, his wife, and he was wrongfully convicted. So the experience of people who were wrongfully convicted in prison, as well as him seeing how prison has positively and negatively changed other people around him. And it has like hints of like, you know, in prison they have like the Aryan groups and have the Hispanic groups. So it talks about these little cliques and cults in the prison. So it's a very diverse and multi-layered story and show as well.
Sounds informative too.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot.
You got the political side, you got the social side with the different like family structure and the different gangs in the prison and.
Yeah, so both of those shows are really good. I started watching them last week. I was binge watching because I was like working from home, so I was like, let me just watch and work. And so I thought that would be important because before they get canceled and we have to like work hard to get another Black show on TV, I want us to try to watch them. And so because of that, the rating, let's go, drum roll. The rating I'm going to give both of my shows are 3 Kilmongers, okay? So 3 because they're still in production. They have like 4 or 5 episodes in. So they really have a strong beginning, which is hard to do when you're setting the foundation or the origin story of any show. And it shows Black people as very complex human narratives and not just my dad was gone and so I'm a drug dealer, right? No, but it's about really how we interwork in the system as a culture and then as the minority in a bigger culture. So they're doing a great job. If anybody's watching from any of those shows, congratulations to you guys and 3 Kilmongers from me.
What channel are these shows on? Because I've never heard of either one of them.
I know. Okay, so Cherish Today is on OWN.
Okay.
And then I want to say For Life is on either ABC or NBC. One of those like lower number, you know, like the traditional cable shows. But you can find, I watch them on Xfinity to Go. I'm sure you can find them online. I follow them on Instagram because I'm just that type of person that if I like your show, I'm following your behind the scenes. Yeah. I'm weird like that. So those are good shows, and I have really enjoyed getting to know the characters and seeing how they're working really hard to have a unique perspective amongst cable nowadays.
I like it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you know, because I only watch reality TV and HGTV, so it's good for me to hear about some of the scripted shows.
Yeah. Get into it. I mean, I think people who like Shondaland, which I used to be a really big Scandal fan. No. That hurts right there.
Sorry.
But Shonda Rhimes, her stuff is a little bit more exaggerated. Like, girl, ain't no plane just gonna fall out the sky and simultaneously this caught on fire. Wow, it's a conspiracy going on to kill this person. It's a lot going on her shirts. But if you kind of just like the feel of it being like a lot of moving parts at the same time, then they'll probably like these shows. Okay, guys, watch the shows. All right, this is Yasmin's favorite segment. Honestly, I learned a lot from this segment too, so I'm excited about it. Yes, this is Faith, Filled, and Fabulous.
Yes, because you cannot be fabulous if you ain't filled with faith. And boo, if you filled with faith, trust and believe you are fabulous, okay? So this week we are talking all about staying in your lane, sis. God has given you a purpose. You just stay in your lane, all right? You ain't got to worry about nothing or anyone else do you stay in your lane? There are 3 things I want to focus on that will help us stay. If we avoid these 3 things, we'll stay in our lane. And the first one is danger. So the pursuit of purpose gets dangerous when we start trying to expedite God's plan for our lives, and we are rushing everything. We got to do everything now. We just want like instant gratification. We want to reach the top without the process, or whatever. We start rushing for things. And sis, that's dangerous. God has a plan for your life. He has a set time for the things that he wants to produce and manifest through you. So stay away from the danger, slow down, trust his plan. You can't, as the saints would say, you can't hurry God.
Nope.
You gotta wait.
You gotta wait.
And the scripture to tie to that is in Psalm 16, verse 5. And it says, Lord, you have assigned me my portion and my cup. You have made my lot secure. Boo. God has already secured your purpose and what's for you. Again, you ain't got to rush it. It's secure. You're going to get there when God has ordained for you to get there. The second thing we want to avoid when we are in the pursuit of purpose is direction, right? And what I mean by that is we're trying to get to this thing that we feel is our calling, but we'll switch it up and start heading in a different direction, because sometimes we forfeit purpose for profit or just followings, or we start wanting things and stuff or materials or the boo or whatever. We start wanting things, and once we fix our gaze on the other stuff, then that forces us to head in a different direction when Jesus is the way. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So just keep your mind on him. Keep your eyes fixated on him. Head in the direction of Jesus, because what profits a man to gain the world and lose his soul? So you want to avoid getting distracted and headed in a direction that's not in the direction of Christ. Seek ye first his kingdom. All that other stuff going to be added, boo.
Yes, ma'am.
And the third thing that we want to avoid when let me give you scripture for that one. Direction is Psalm 16, verse 4. And it says, the sorrows of those will increase who run after other gods. There's another part for that, but I'll just focus on that. The sorrows of those will increase who run after other gods. Hey, stay focused on the direction God has set you on. Stop running after boo, bae, stamps and passport, extra degrees, all those things, and stay fixated on God. And again, the third one is differences, right? Like Shana has a different calling than me. I have a different calling and purpose. I don't need to be worried about what sis is doing, what sis has going on, because what God has created me for is what is the scripture? Your gift will make room for you. I told y'all I'd be misquoting stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't worry about the different things that she's doing, how she's winning, how she's prospering in her season. You good. God made you different for a reason. So just trust that. And then the scripture for that is, again, in Psalm 16. This one is verse 6. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. There are boundaries. There's a lane for you and your difference. Stay there. Surely there is a pleasant inheritance for you. So sis, this week we are staying in our lane. We are avoiding danger, trying to go too fast, hurry God. We are focused on the direction of Jesus, because he's the way. And we are celebrating our differences as opposed to comparing ourselves to the differences of our sister girls around us.
I love it. I think, hey, listen, she said it best. Be sure you follow her on Instagram and YouTube. What are they?
Yeah, so Instagram is just Yasmin_Williams-Woods. My YouTube channel is Yasmin Williams Woods. And actually, I have a longer video, a more in-depth video on this topic of staying in your lane. I'll link it up here. Make sure you go check that out.
All right. Thanks, girl.
Thanks, boo. Y'all, this is the Fashion Foreteller segment, and I am so excited for y'all to hear from Shana. She gets us together. She keeps us together. Last week, you talked about lace. Did you notice? I tried this week to do your thing.
I like it. I like to see how we talked about like how you could dress lace down. You said you wore it to a wedding, you dressed it up.
Yeah.
You dressed it down with denim. Come on.
Yeah, and I never would have done this if it hadn't been for all the knowledge you spit to us last week. So thank you. Make sure you watch last week's episode.
Yes.
Make sure you follow her on Instagram. She will get your life. Okay?
Yes, follow me at The Fashion Chase on Instagram and YouTube. But today, I actually tried to do a little bit of what I'm talking about today. I wonder if you can guess. No. I'm talking about black and white. Okay,
sis.
So black and white is such a classic look that it's like the most timeless, like, but kind of chic at the same time. You could do all black, you could do all white, but black and white really just has this little take on it where it really can transition all genres. So I want to show you guys just some examples. So the first thing is this black skirt. It's a black leather skirt. It has the white piping around the bottom and the side, and the length of the skirt is really good for if you want to do business. Then you can do like a sexy bralette top and a top if you wanted to make it a little bit more night out.
Yeah.
So we love this skirt. And then y'all know I'm the blazer queen, so I brought you 3 different types of blazers to show you some examples. So more of a vintage blazer that has a design around the cuffs as well as the neckline. This is from Focus 2000, which is a vintage brand that I really like. The next is from JCPenney, believe it or not. It's Worthington. It's an all-white with the black lapel. It kind of just really skims the body. It has the black buttons and then the black on the pockets. And the last one, and I'll tell you a little about why black and white is a really great look. This one's also vintage from Casual Corner, and it's the black and white color block if you wanted to do something a little bit more statement. So what these 3 or 4 pieces showed you that I wanted to exemplify today is that you can wear black and white and fit any idea. If you're classic, black and white. If you're vintage, black and white. If you're more of a color block, trendy girl, black and white. If you're really into leather and these more harder dynamics, like if you're like a motorcycle girl or if you're a cowgirl or these like specific lanes in fashion, you can still rock black and white. It will make you look chic. It'll make you look put together like you tried, and it won't look so monochromatic. So if you normally wear all black, do me a favor and buy something that's black and white. It could be one piece, like a jacket. You don't even have to work too hard, right? It could be just a black and white jacket over an all black outfit, and I promise it's gonna just add that little pop that you need to really feel pulled together and like you're trying to be fashionable without actually trying. And that's kind of the look that we're going for. Like, I tried, but I didn't try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, oh girl, you look cute. This whole thing, I just threw this on.
Right.
But that's how you do it. You do it with amazing pieces like these. All of these are for sale. So I have the cost in the description box. And you can also follow me on Instagram and you'll know all about the fashion that I'm selling. So that's this week's Fashion Foreteller, black and white. Y'all can do it. Our last segment of today is our favorite. It's a fan favorite. It's called Gas Me Up, for the girls screaming, "Ay, ay, ay," in their Instagram stories and their Snapchats. So if you may not know, this is your first time watching, which means you should watch the other episodes we've uploaded. This segment is like about songs that really make us feel bold and powerful and just get us moving this week. So Yasmin, you start, girl. Tell us what's gassing you this week.
So this week I'm going with "Till I Found You" by Phil Wickman.
Okay.
It's a worship song, but y'all, it is a love song. It takes me back to when I my love for R&B, and it just gives me life. I
can listen to it.
Yes. And let me say this before you tell your gas me up
yes,
song.
Please do.
Y'all know I go back and forth, righteous, ratchet. This week obviously is righteous with the worship song. What I need to apologize for is that I keep giving y'all white people worship songs about white artists.
Come on,
next week, right? I know, I got you. On my next righteous week, I'm gonna give y'all some black music, okay?
I can give you a lot of.
Yeah, me too. Yes. I love my Tasha Cobbs, my Kurt Franklin's of the world, my James Fortune. They're my people, okay? Yes. Don't get it twisted. I just want to clarify. Your girl.
Why should you only one people? No, but let me tell you, legit, Kirk is a living legend. He is gospel royalty. So I'm down with Kirk. People who talk bad about Kirk, y'all ain't getting in the kingdom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And I'm over here nodding my head y'all ain't.
God is really trying to just put the whole.
But no, really, he is.
He is amazing.
Now, let me say this, though, because I know we don't even have confessions this weekend, but I dislike, or pet peeves, when all my white sisters, friends, I got a lot of y'all, every time we talk about gospel music or black music, they're like, yeah, Kurt Franklin, I love him. Kurt Franklin is not the Dr. Martin Luther King
Yes,
of gospel music.
He
But
he should be like your gateway drug to gospel music.
Yes.
You gotta move past Kurt.
I agree. Just like I want y'all to know more than just Dr. King, I want everybody to know more than just Kurt Franklin. But Kurt Franklin is the one who sets it off.
He set it off, and then he can kind of lead you into open your horizons to these other artists that are just magnificent.
A gift from God.
Yes, hallelujah. Thank you, Lord, for Phil and Dr. King. Thank you for him too. But Kurt Franklin, yes. Okay, so Gas Me Up, that's her song. Y'all know I don't go back and forth. I just stick with the ratchet. I'm just but no, this song is not ratchet. And let me explain why I chose this song. This week God has blown my mind at work. If y'all don't know, I'm a stylist, but I also run a nonprofit where I teach people how to start small businesses. And so my class is not only did God fill my class, but he overwhelmed my class. I had more people to register than I even had room for. And she reminded me that the Lord told us that we won't have room enough to receive. And I'm like, okay, Jesus, wait, I got to get it together.
He was lying.
Yeah, he was not. And so I've just been so grateful for what he's done. And it's been in such, like, I'm tired because a lot, right? But also joy. And I love how joy and, like, fatigue can almost coexist. Because if you're really doing it right, you're working hard. So my song this week for all that is Happy by Pharrell. Because it personifies just being like exuberant. You're like, oh my God! So that's how that song, like, clap along if you feel. That's how I feel in like a room without a roof. Okay, so gratefulness, and that's like a non-gospel but gospel song about gratefulness and just being excited and joyful and grateful for all that's happened. So Happy by Pharrell is my song. If you're in a good mood, listen to Happy. If you're not in a good mood, listen to Happy. Then follow it up. Because he'll take you high and then he'll take you in. You know what I'm saying? Like, hallelujah, thank you, Lord. They work together.
They do. Yeah. That is a good, you cannot listen to that without being happy. Or unless something is
and if even if you're not happy, it can kind of push you more towards happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Pharrell for that song. That was divine. That was the Lord gave Pharrell
it was,
that song. Because it really does just, it's great. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode of Girl, I Got Questions TV.
Yes, and boo, keep on asking the questions because on the other side of the question is a woman who is fabulous, confident, amazing, all of the fabulous things in life, okay? And we want you to be that woman.